Hello, and if you're watching this video, you kind of already know why you clicked on. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a custom working animatronic within Minecraft from Five Nights at Freddy's or kind of whatever. So recently in the past we've gone over the cameras, the door, which I actually hooked up to this demonstration. It still gets stuck in that one spot like I was stating before. But now we're going to be making an animatronic. Now, there is no telling you how big your platform is going to need to be, so I just made it out of whatever. So for this, for the first part of this at least, you're going to need a chest, hopper, a block of your choice, redstone comparator, redstone torch, command block, and a sign. I recommend using signs because I like to label whatever. And you're going to need a space for your animatronic. This is our test subject. Just give him any name, so I just gave him Larry. You can, if you're trying to make Five Nights at Freddy's, it could be Freddy, Bonnie, doesn't really matter. So, if I just make sure I've got the right design here. So, first of all, you're going to need two models for this first part here. And I recommend using red so you remember which one's which. So, the way this works is you're going to need a chest, you're going to need a hopper going into said chest, and you're going to need a... I forgot to grab redstone blocks. Oh my god. You're going to want a redstone block on the back. This is your... I like to call it my copy block. It's a very simple little mechanism. So this is basically your timer that you've built. So just put red concrete around that. This way you just remember this is the one you're copying. If you're making Foxy and you're making his platform out of red, then you're going to want to use a different color, obviously. But this is your copy block, basically. Now, and a few spaces forward, I want you to make the exact same thing. One more block forward on that side. Alright. I don't know why I put that up there. So now, I like to label this as T1 for timer 1, because this is your timer, basically. We're going to need a lot more room here, now that I'm looking at this. Again, like I said, you have no idea how big this is going to need to be. So, the animatronics in Five Nights at Freddy's are set on a timer. I personally put them in... Oh, that's my bad. That's supposed to go there. I personally put in, I think 10 blocks is about good. Like that. So now you'll see as soon as I remove that, those 10 blocks are going to filter into this chest. That is why this is here, and you're going to figure out how everything works soon. Next you're going to want a comparator here and here. And a block after, and a redstone torch. Like I said, I'm going to need a lot more space than I thought. Sorry, I can never remember my own mechanism, so I have a picture, and it's taking me a second to look at it. So, off from this torch, you only need one command block, and this is going to be the copying this to their system. So, you're going to want to put in /clone. Now, you're going to want your top left, so 177, -52. Wait, was that negative? Yeah, one, okay. So -177, -52, -172, -172. So that would be the top here. Then you're going to want the bottom here. 178, 53. -178, -53, and I believe I saw that. Next one was -717. Probably wrong on that. Nope. And 178, just making sure that I got the coordinates right. Cool. Now you're going to want your bottom right here to match your other bottom right. So -178, -178. oops, 178, negative 53, negative 53, and then negative, what's the last one? The last one is negative 175. 175. Now, your coordinates are going to be different from mine, but this is your top left block, your bottom right, and then this is the bottom right of where you want it to go. It is actually a very similar principle to the door mechanic that we built in an earlier episode of this. So now that we've got that working, you just want to make sure that this works. So actually now this should be empty, which it is not. I never put blocks in there. Alright, hey guys, welcome back. After a lot of tweaking, I got it to work. Turns out I had a few coordinates off, and sometimes if the bottom right doesn't work, you might have to destroy the chest and use its coordinate if it just copies into itself. But trust me, after a while you'll get it to work. It just takes a little tweaking. So next, you're going to want a command block here, a comparator there, and a redstone block here. I label these as activate R1 and crap, what is it? Deactivate R1, or I don't know. It's actually, I don't think I labeled that one. I don't know. But so basically these are your set block commands. This is the end of the timer. This is it. So you do this, the timer ticks down, it ends, and then it copies itself back, basically. And you're going to want to make sure that you have 10 blocks in here to copy over there. So now there's 10 blocks in there. So now every time the timer needs to reset, that 10 blocks is replaced. Next, you're going to need a randomizer. Now, I've gone through a few designs. Bonnie in my main world has this different design, and it is henceforth just stayed there. But it's much better to use this newer design I cooked up, where you're going to need dropper, hopper, comparator, sorry, I don't know, you're going to need the comparator, the repeater, redstone dust, and command blocks and signs for labeling. So, sorry, I have not been doing instructions. So, you're going to place your dropper here and crouch and click into it. This way your hopper is facing into it. And like I said, you never know how much space you're going to need, so I already need more. So, now that we've got it here, we're going to need this. Redstone dust comes out of it. And let's see, it's that there, 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 I believe. And that there, and that on no ticks. I think. I'm not sure on this one. But, and then finally you just need your 2 output lines that'll go to your command blocks. I think. Again, I'm not sure. Now, to make this fully functional, you're going to need a stackable and non-stackable item. I like to just use a stone sword and a piece of cobblestone. This is what makes it random. So, every time I do this, one of the other outputs should play off. This is if you want your animatronic to be random. See, right there. So, this is the design that you need to connect to this, and then you've got your randomizer. So, what activating R1 does is this is going to be activating your randomizer. So, put in / set block. Just pick a block right here, I guess. Negative 180. Negative 180. Negative 53. Negative 53. Negative 183. negative 183 to a redstone underscore block. Now again, your coordinates are going to be different from mine, but now we can check if this works by just... Cool! It works. So, now that we've got that down, this block will be basically the same thing. Set block at negative 33, 52. No, this isn't the right commands. What are the coordinates? 180. Start with 180, and it should... So, negative 180. Okay, it's not continuing. Negative 53. Negative 53. And finally, negative 183. Negative 183. But this time, set it to air. So this way, we activate our timer. Timer goes off and resets itself. And I don't think the timing between this... Right. I think it needs to be a repeater, not a comparator. Maybe. Try this again. So, if we unlock the timer... Well, it continues to go off, which means it's placing it so quickly that we can't even see it. But point is, now the timer activates this every 10... I don't know, whatever this is. You can increase or decrease your timer, depending on how difficult you want your animatronic to be. Next, you just need some command outputs. So, you need one if you want to teleport, one if you want him to not. So if you don't want him to teleport, we'll say this is the no option, / set block. And simply because I don't need this going off constantly, I like to call this my safety and just put that there. Negative 177.53. Negative 177. Negative 53. Negative 175. Negative 175. We want to set it to air. So, if he decides not to move, then that block will be set to air, like this. So, let's see. So that way he chose to move, but if he chose not to move, the timer would just go off again until it came up with the opportunity for him to move. This makes look at that, see right there. This makes it so he's completely random until he just decides to move. Right there, he decided to move. So this one is to teleport your animatronic, and you're also actually going to want it to be facing like that. So I haven't messed around with chain blocks too much, but I do know that it takes the signal from that. I don't know. Again, I haven't messed around with them too much. I'm actually just testing this now. But you want it to be... One second, I wrote the command down. The command is /TP at E, so all entities, basically this, but our character's name is not Freddy. His name is Larry. So, there you go, no spaces there. Now we want to know where we want to teleport him. So, from where he is, if I wanted him to go to the door, personally, I'm just going to write the command, sorry, not the command, the coordinates down, so I don't forget. One moment. So, my coordinates are negative 177, negative 60, negative 174. Again, your coordinates are going to be different, especially depending on where you want him to go. So if he chooses to teleport, we want him to teleport him to negative 177, negative 60, negative 174, negative 174. Now, let's see if Larry teleports. Larry has teleported. And yes, you can make him face a different direction. If you wanted to make him face a different direction, a specific one from where he's teleporting, you want to say facing. Then let's say we want him to face directly at the door. 176. So basically the same thing, but with the beginning being 176. So negative 176, negative 60, negative, wait, what? I'm losing it. Negative 60, negative 174. Now, if we teleport him again, you'll see he'll now be facing the door, which this is where you would obviously shut the door on this guy. So yeah. Now, I like to also have a reset. Now, again, you can make this go infinitely. So, what this would do is I would have another timer over here or something, and this would basically remove its redstone block. But I'm not building that because I'm too lazy, and I'd like the video to be kind of short. So, but finally, just in case, and if you're resetting the game, I like to have a reset. And so, in case you want to put some sort of block here for like, oh, your game's over, you need to reset him. So you have a command block. This just sets this block to redstone block, then air to reset him. But for me, basically just the same thing. You want to get rid of Freddy. I'm too lazy to write out a whole new command. So Larry, and then he was standing here. I don't want to walk back and forth, so I'm going to have to write down the commands. Negative 181, negative 60, negative 183. And if I want him to be facing forward, I just change that from a 3 to a 2 to face forward. Change negative 1, negative 1, 3. There. So now that I've got everything written down, I go back up here, and I put everything in. So I want him to be facing negative 181, negative 60, negative 60, negative 183, negative 183. But I want him facing somewhere, so facing negative 181, negative 60, same thing, but we want this 3 to change to a 2. Now when I click this, Larry's gone, and he's back up on stage. Oh, whoops. Whatever, you get the point, though. And there are ways to block the animatronic, like when they get to your door, but personally, where's the fun if I don't let you figure out some stuff? This is the baseline of how you make it, with the timers and the randomizers. So, yeah, that's kind of the basis of making an animatronic. This is really only, I don't know how many mechanics more I can show. I'll probably think of something. But until the next one, I guess I'll have to see.